So I heard you want to know how God has changed me. Well, I had a hard time deciding just what to tell you in this short time. There's so much I could share. I've actually written a book about it, but I thought I'd share how my journey with God got started. And then if you want to know more, I can send you a copy of my book. You might be surprised to know that I haven't always been this positive, cheery person. I used to be angry and unhappy a lot of the time. But that all changed the day God saved me from the plan I had to take my own life. My plan changed after a woman at church shared that her son had committed suicide and how afraid she was at where he may be because of it. That got me thinking, where would I be if I continued with my plan? Somehow I thought it would be okay if I instead asked God to take me. So that's what I did. Take me now, Lord, I prayed. And instead of my life coming to an end, my new life with God began. One of the first things to change was instead of spending only an hour with God at church each week, I got the idea that He wanted me to check in with Him every day. The idea came through a missionary couple who were giving a progress report at our church. They said their biggest challenge was the lack of food and the malnutrition of the congregation they were serving in Africa. They shared how they looked to God for answers by starting every morning in prayer and asking the question, "What can we do today, Lord?" Then they would do whatever they were led to do. They said they were led to know of a tree that grew in that region and that the leaves of the tree contained all the nutrition needed to restore and sustain health. I was so amazed. I hadn't thought you could get those kinds of answers from God. Not that He wouldn't know, God knows everything. But I guess I didn't know He could somehow communicate the answers to us. I thought all of God's answers came from the Bible, and today's answers, like nutrition solutions, came from scientists after years and years of study and research. But these missionaries attributed their coming to know of this life saving tree as an answer they had received through prayer. A light went on for me that day that actually changed how I saw God. I no longer saw Him as just an invisible God to be worshiped in church on Sunday to secure a place in heaven. I realized I could look to Him as a valuable source of answers, answers for now and this life here on earth. At the time, I was trying to find what I thought was my purpose in life. I had hoped it would lead me to success and then to a happier, better life. So I decided to take God up on His offer and start asking every morning the same question the missionaries asked: "What can I do today, Lord?" And then do whatever I was led to do. I was led to do a lot of reading, which was a big change in itself. I hadn't much liked reading, but suddenly I couldn't read fast enough. There was a lot for me to learn and relearn, I found out. Because I was already in my 50s when I started following God, there was a lot in my way of thinking that needed changing. But I was willing, if that's what it took, to have a better life. I learned that God thinks differently than we do. I wouldn't have thought things like forgiveness, gratitude, and loving others were the keys to being happy. I thought being successful was what would make me happy. But God showed me my reason for wanting success had to do more with my insecurities. So when God went to working out my insecurities, my anger issues seemed to fade away. And once I started trusting God for my needs, I found out He can take better care of me than I ever thought I could. My only regret is not knowing God earlier in my life, which is why I'm telling you about Him now. So take it from me, following Jesus will change your life.